Hey y'all, it is the second annual Trademark That Thursdays virtual summit, and I see that we have 13 people here live, active, and in our session. So I'm just going to speak to you 13 right now. Before we get started, of course, there will be a Manifesting Millions session, but I thought it would be great for you to hear directly from our speakers, directly from people like me, and directly from people that you literally are coming to see. So if you signed up for this event and you have the backstage access, you will be able to use, to your right, your comment section. Please, during their sessions, use the Q&A feature only, because if you use the Q&A feature, it'll pop out big and bold on the screen when it's time for us to answer your question, and we can mark it answered once we've actually tackled it during the live session. If you guys have any questions about Trademark That Thursdays, the virtual summit, please email trademarkthatthursdays@gmail.com. We are checking this throughout the event today and tomorrow. There will be a CLE code following the attendance of this event. If you are attempting to get CLE codes, CLE codes are not going to be the typical codes this year. They will be phrases. So please make sure you have your pen and pad ready, because if you do not, you will not get the CLE code, and you will definitely not get your CLE credit, because I'm definitely going to turn in names for the people in Alabama to the Alabama State Bar. I cannot turn it in for your state bar, but I will help you through the process if you just email us at trademarkthatthursdays@gmail.com. I'm willing and open to helping people get CLE credits all across the nation, because I love free CLE. I love it every time, and I hope that you guys come back to this event again and again. Before we get started, my name is Nina Spear. I hail from Birmingham, Alabama. I am a proud alumni or alumni of the illustrious Howard University, and I went to the University of Alabama School of Law for law school. And I now have a practice that has been 4 years yesterday, literally in practice, and Trademarks is our dang niche. Trademark That Thursdays is our trademark. So Trademark That Thursdays became a social media educational opportunity for people to learn about trademarks. So if you didn't even know about Trademark That Thursdays, you're in for a treat. If you search the hashtag, you will find pretty much all the cool rules, cool news, things that you can cover on your own social media just by searching our hashtag. It's about 500 uses online just on that hashtag alone, and you will get some good facts that maybe you didn't know. And you can always ask us free questions on Thursdays. So if there's anything that you have as a question and you're unsure, this Trademark That Thursdays educational content and social media series is made exactly for people like you. So if you didn't know what Trademark That Thursdays was before, you do now. And I hope that I'll see you up here on the stage next year, because isn't this a cool platform? I like it, and you should like it too. Now, I'm going to stop talking so that you guys can see some videos that you need to see. So if you have questions, comments, let us know how you're feeling about the event in the comments. Trust me, I can see all the comments. So please let us know your excitement. Let us know what's going on. If you're having issues, trouble seeing anything, if you can't hear my noise, if my video is grainy, let us know in the comments. I want to answer your questions. But lastly, I cannot wait to talk to you guys later today on my talk, Attract High Value Clients, the 21st Century Marketing Plan. And y'all, you're in for a treat, a true treat, okay? So I am so glad that you guys are here. Hey, Patricia, how y'all doing? Let me put y'all up on the screen, because y'all better wake up early on a Friday and get on up here. I see you, Patricia Dalton, attorney, the Dalton Law Firm from Springfield, United States. I like it. Who else? I got, am I saying this right? Cientage? I'm messing that up. I'm butchering it. I'm going to invite you to the stage later so you can tell me how to do it correct. But that is in Anderson Law PLC. Y'all better get here early and comment and be engaged. And by the way, if you stay engaged for all of the speaking sessions, 80% to be exact. So y'all know what that is. Do your math. I don't know what that is in speaker attendance, but the CLE speakers, okay? That is the speakers who are lawyers. You must attend 80% to be eligible for their giveaways. And I hope Sinacha. Okay, Sinacha, girl, you better give me the phonetics. I love it. Look at this. Y'all better get her name right. Hold up. Here we go. That's her name. Okay. So if y'all see her and y'all do a private one-to-one meet, this is how you say her name. Sinacha. Okay. Sinacha or Sisha. Come on. Sisha. Ooh, Shisha in Hindi actually means mirror. So it sounds very similar to that. But I'm gonna stop rambling because y'all, I know I could talk all day. So y'all watch these videos. I'm gonna make sure the rest of y'all have a smooth transition and get your friends who is registered, get them to come up here. Come on, it is a pretty name. It's a very pretty name, Patricia. It's so beautiful. I love you guys. And I'm going off screen now. So Waylene, take them away. Take them away. Give us some promo videos. They ready for the promo videos. Come on, y'all. Get some promo videos.
Hi, my name is Vivian Williams of Vivian Williams Law, and I am elated to invite you to the Trademark That Thursdays 2022 Virtual Summit. There are going to be powerhouse speakers in the Intellectual Property Forum, and guess what? I get to be one of them. 75% of people have some apprehension towards public speaking. Well, I'll help you with that. I'll be teaching public speaking, yes, for lawyers. Well, I'll give you some tips so that you don't have to give up on your litigator and or trial attorney dreams. Meet me in Air Meet, April 29th through the 30th at 8 a.m. Central Time. That's Air Meet, April 29th through the 30th at 8 a.m. Central Time. Now, if you missed it, well, it's on you.
My name is Nina.
Hey everyone, my name is Brittany Kay, and I am the principal attorney at Anderson O'Neill LLC. Come join me at Trademark That Thursday Summit, where my masterclass will be on NFTs, what you need to know about legal risks and IP issues. The pandemic has spawned a new wave of digital development, with NFTs being one of the top. NFTs are making their way into all aspects of law, including IP. Come learn about what NFTs are, intellectual property issues, and some of the most pressing legal issues regarding them. This summit is where you will be able to gain industry insights about NFTs and how they impact IP, as well as other impactful trademark secrets. Come network with some of the top IP practitioners in our field, and of course, try and get some of those sponsorship giveaways. Come meet me this weekend, April 29th and 30th at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, both days, at this amazing virtual summit. See you there.
Hi, I'm the workshop leader for the second annual Trademark That Thursdays Virtual Summit, and my name is Caleb Green. My masterclass is going to be on policing, intellectual property enforcement strategies, and I will provide vital information and strategies on how you can protect the intellectual property of yourself, your clients, and your business. Now, this talk is going to be taking place at the Trademark That Thursdays Virtual Summit, taking place April 29th through the 30th. My background's in intellectual property strategy, including copyright, trademark, patents, and rights of publicity. So you want to join to learn more about how to enforce these areas of intellectual property on the internet, social media, and throughout the world. In addition, you'll have a great opportunity to network as well as glean industry insights and also to get CLE credit. So come join us April 29th through the 30th, the Trademark That Thursdays Virtual Summit. We want to see you there, and you can follow Trademark That Thursdays on Instagram to learn more.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Crawford, and I'm a news anchor and business attorney. And I'm so excited to be speaking at the second annual Trademark That Thursdays Summit. It's happening April 29th and April 30th. I'm going to be talking all about how you can pitch your brand to media outlets, and it'll help you generate notoriety for free. It'll also help you be more known in your community, and who doesn't love free CLE credits? So make sure that you sign up for the second annual Trademark That Thursdays Summit, and make sure to follow Trademark That Thursdays on Instagram.
Hey y'all, so my name is Nina Spear and I'm teaching a class entitled Attract High Value Clients, the 21st Century Marketing Plan. And I am your host and workshop leader for a talk on April 29th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. This summit is going to be full of industry insights, ranging from how to be indomitable like Miss Takora Davis, our keynote, or how to price yourself effectively like the pricing playbook from Sonia Wakani, and so much more. So come, bring your energy, bring your pen and pad, and bring all of the excitement about trademarks, because these speakers are gonna blow your mind. I love y'all. See you at the event on Friday and Saturday. Bye-bye.
Hi all, my name is Pamela Rosario and I am the managing attorney at Pamela Rosario Law. I am so honored and excited to be part of the second annual Trademark That Thursdays virtual summit hosted by the Nina R. Spear Law Firm. This is a free CLE, free y'all, where you will hear from over 10 IP attorneys going over everything you need to know to run a successful IP practice. My talk specifically will be talking about finding your voice as an attorney and building a firm culture that you love. So here are the top 5 reasons why you should be at the Trademark That Thursday Summit this week. Number 1, you will get an inside look at insights from our industry and from really some of the best in the business. Number 2, networking. It is not really often that we all get together for a free event where we are able to chat and exchange info and hear each other's stories. So this would be a great opportunity for that. Number 3, MCLE credit. That's huge and it's free. We all need it, and they'll give you a chance to get some legal training or a refresher on any concepts you've already learned. Number 4, like I said, networking. It's a huge plus, and you'll have the opportunity to set up one-on-one meetings with some other IP lawyers. And number 5, last but not least, me. Like I mentioned, my workshop will be discussing finding your voice as an attorney, and we'll be going over legal reputation, how we can move away from it, I think, and really creating a culture that you are really proud of and that speaks and rings true to you. So Trademark That Thursday's virtual summit will be this Friday and Saturday, April 29th and April 30th. Workshops start at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time on both days via AirMeet. See you there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rhea Zelia Allen, also known as Attorney Southern Belle, Louisiana's favorite trademark attorney. I will be teaching at this session. My masterclass is going to be called Set Apart, Using All of Your Gifts to Hit 5,000. So at this conference, this wonderful conference, Trademark That Thursday, you're going to learn industry insights. You're going to have an opportunity to network. You're going to have the opportunity to get CLE credits, and we're going to have sponsorship opportunities and one-on-one meetings with different workshop leaders. So the date of this event is going to be April 29th through April 30th. Each day starts at 8 a.m. My session begins at 1 p.m. So I'm going to teach you all how to leverage your business acumen by using all of your God-given talents. Perhaps you like to write. Maybe you like to speak. Maybe you like to be involved with your community. Maybe you like to assist small businesses with their business plans and things of that nature. All of that goes into intellectual property, and business law practice. So you're going to learn how to leverage all of your gifts to make it work for you so that you can set yourself apart in the practice.
Hi everyone, I am Sonia Lakhani, also known as Trademark Lawyer Lady on Instagram. I am the founder of Lakhani Law, a national award-winning trademark law firm, and the creator of 2 Weeks to Trademarks, the first and only online course for current trademark attorneys and those looking to add trademarks to their practice. The first and only course that not only teaches you this field, but how to market yourself, get clients, and actually run a business in this field. In addition to all those things, I am the founder of Trademark Attorneys / Lawyers, a multi-thousand group of attorneys on Facebook that talk nothing but trademarks, support, referrals, resources, and everything else. I'm so glad and excited to be part of the Trademark That Thursday's Summit. If you haven't registered already, if you don't know why you should attend and take time out of your schedule, I'm here to tell you why. So first of all, mark your calendar, April 29th and 30th, starting at 8 a.m. CST. It is completely online. It is virtual, so you don't have to move a muscle. You get your coffee, get your tea, your water, come join us. You really don't get the opportunity very often to join so many thought leaders in one place. But personally, my talk will be on pricing, which is a very important topic for those of us building a practice. So my talk will be called The Pricing Playbook: How to Set Your Prices and Get Paid What You're Worth in this field. And I have been doing nothing but trademarks for over 12 years and counting. So I know a thing or two about building a high revenue practice, and I'm excited to share some of my tips and strategies in my personal workshop. In addition to being able to hear from some of the thought leaders, you're going to get a chance to do some networking and do some one-on-one meetings. So if you've ever been wanting to chat with someone or interact with someone that you've been stalking on Instagram or stalking on Twitter, now's your chance. There's so many of us registered. So not only will you have industry insights, thought leaders, networking, one-on-one meetings, there is also going to be CLE credit, which is so rare. And lastly, there's going to be sponsored giveaways. So personally, I threw in the hat my Rainmaking 2.0 course, which retails for $19.97, as in $1,997. It is a 9-module course on marketing, building referrals, and client development in this area, which we are all excited about building a practice in, and I'm super excited to be able to offer it. So do what you got to do to enter that giveaway, and maybe you will win my course. I do hope that you'll join, attend our sessions, book something with me one-on-one. I would love to meet and interact with as many of you as possible. So don't forget, we'll see you April 29th and 30th, both days starting at 8 a.m. CST here on AirMeet.
This message is for my mentor, Miss Sonia Lakhani. During the pandemic in 2020, I wanted to find something where I could set myself apart from other practitioners in Louisiana. I attended the Alt Legal Conference, and I met her and a few other practitioners in the trademark world and the intellectual property world. So I signed up for her course, and we had a one-on-one session. And during that one-on-one session, she taught me strategies, and she also told me that taking the 2 weeks to trademark course would pay for itself. And she was right. In 2021, as a practitioner in Louisiana solo, focusing primarily on intellectual property, I was able to gross over $80,000 before expenses. And most of that came from the trademark practice. So I just want to thank Sonia Lakhani for her mentorship. It is because of her that I was able to purchase my first home in April of this year. So I just want to thank her from the bottom of my heart, from the trademark group in Facebook, to the one-on-one calls, and for the 2-week to trademark course. It's really an essential course. This area of practice is not popular in Louisiana, but I've been able to dominate thanks to her.
Great day, everybody. The TTT Summit is almost here, and I want you to get to know me a little bit more. I am the keynote speaker for the summit, for the second annual Trademark That Thursdays virtual summit, and my name is Attorney Takora Davis. My masterclass that I'll be teaching on is how to be inimitable, right? How can you be undeniable, unduplicated? Nobody can copy you. How can you stand out in the sea of sameness? And the things that you are going to learn in my talk is just that. One, you're going to walk away learning how to develop your distinctive voice in the marketplace. You're also going to learn how to find your value in the valleys of entrepreneurship. And finally, you are going to learn more about the powerful processes that you can create to make clients stay and pay. I have been doing trademark law for over 5 years. My firm has merited amazing awards from the likes of Beyonce. We've been recognized in Black Enterprise by Facebook. We've been featured on VH1, and I want to share my smarts with you. I'm excited to be able to pour into you, to be able to connect with you, and also to be able to network and hear from the other amazing speakers. So what I want you to do is come join us at this amazing event on April 29th and 30th for 2 days. Over 10 minority lawyers, over 10 topics that you will need to know to take your law firm to the next level. Special thanks to Nina R. Spear Law Firm, the amazing, beautiful, and brilliant mastermind, bringing us all together and hosting this free 2-day CLE featuring all minority IP lawyers and discussing how we can break the IP law ceiling and really go over that 1.8% metric of only 1.8% attorneys practicing intellectual property law being minority. So make sure that you register for day 1 and day 2 here at bit.ly/Trademark That Thursdays CLE. I'll see you there.
Hi, my name is Shahara Wright, and I'm one of the speakers at Trademark That Thursday CLE. The event will be from April 29th to April 30th, 8 a.m. Central on AirMeet. Come make sure you join us. 5 great reasons why you should be there. 1 is that we'll have industry insights. 2, we'll have great networking with other attorneys. 3, MCLE credits. 4, meeting other attorneys. And 5, we got sponsorships and giveaways. It's going to be really a great event, and I'm looking forward to presenting to you licensing basics, how to use licensing to increase profits. We're going to have a lot of good things to talk about that day, but one of the things you're going to learn about is why licensing is important. Another thing you're going to learn about is what kind of licensing deals you can do for your clients. And the third thing you're going to learn about is what kind of information you need to have in your licensing agreement. Make sure you join my talk on April 29th, 2022 at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Look for more great information, and I look forward to seeing you there. All right, Daphne, we about to invite you to the stage, girl. Y'all didn't know y'all could get on stage. I could definitely get on stage. We gotta invite you, but we can get on stage. So the more you comment, the more we can put you on stage. So I'm gonna invite you to the stage. We're gonna invite you to the stage, girlfriend. So all you gotta do is tell us about you and Takora, because I know this Sonya is just going to love that message from Rhea Zelia, because I heard her tell Sonya live, and I literally know Takora literally is open to all people giving her good feedback. So hopefully we can invite you to the stage, girlfriend. Come on, come on, come on. We can do it. We can. So it's a little confusing, but join us while we're waiting on Daphne to get on stage and for my awesome person to get her up there. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information about this event. It is free. And the reason why it's free is because I want to see. Oh, you joined from a mobile device, Daphne. I can't bring you up on stage. But if you join from a computer, I can. So if you go get your computer before the end of the event, we'll definitely let you share your message personally to Takora during one of our break sessions or right after the event with Takora. So, I mean, it could be really something you could come up and stay live. So Takora comes on it too. And I would love her to hear from you directly, because when y'all ask questions, y'all can come on stage. And then Rhea Zelia, the one who gave the wonderful, wonderful insights about Sonya, she is here in the chat, so y'all definitely talk to her. But a little bit about Trademark That Thursdays, the virtual summit. This was birthed out of this idea that I was tired of paying for legal conferences. Aren't you tired of paying for legal conferences? Because we were required to get CLE. Unless you're in DC, somehow you can just not do CLE if you're in DC. But we're required to get it. And then they charge us like $300 for like 3 or 4 hours of CLE credit. And then we're sitting there and we're just like, dang, we got to go get 8 to 9 more of these credit hours. Well, there is this firm here in Birmingham, well, here in Alabama, called Beasley Allen. And they hosted this 12-hour CLE every year, the end of the year around November. And basically, attorneys were able to get all their CLE credit in one place, and it was free. And it was civil law stuff that I was really not interested in, really had no desire to learn about. I love the networking there and the food. Oh my gosh, the food. So the hope is that the virtual summit also extends to become something of an in-person summit in the future, where we can give you food, you can meet the people, and it's still free. Because I really saw the value of free when I was a new lawyer needing to get CLE credit. And I went down there and got that credit at that long CLE all the way in Montgomery, Alabama. So I got a chance to see firsthand that it can be done. And guys, guess what? The money that we had to spend to create the CLE, okay, it's amazing. Rhea Zelia, if you want to come on stage, girl, you're welcome, because we haven't started the Manifesting Millions yet. So I would love for them to hear from you early. So if you're ready, I'm going to send you an invitation to come on up here. But all the people that I have like on the go and just literally been connecting with. Hey, Rhea Zelia, how you doing, girlfriend?
Hey,
You keeping your camera off for now?
I was going to. I think I turned it on.
No, it's off right now. Whenever we bring you back on stage, you got to turn it back on.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to take me off and then bring me back on because it's on.
Okay.
I don't know how to unpause. Wait a minute. I can do it.
Okay.
Wait, it's not letting me unpause anything.
Ooh.
So I need to go back off and come back on.
Maybe you need to join. Yeah, I'm going to pull you off and put you back on. Okay. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, just slightly. Cool beans. Hopefully that works, Rhea. If it doesn't, maybe just check your camera, because it sometimes gets blocked. So you might have to refresh and come back. I had to do that one time because I had too many browsers open, and I had Google Meet and Zoom and all that. And anytime there's a conflicting camera, it pretends like there's another camera. But yeah, like everything that we did at this event has really made people excited. I mean, how excited were you to register for an event that had CLE credit available, or just people in your field and you were actually interested? And it wasn't people that, I got to be frank here, that didn't look like you. It was people who did look like you or were minority for once. And I honestly very rarely see the full lineup of people having those types of features. Hey, girl, we got it. See,
All
technology.
right.
Look, because Rizal, we needed your video for today anyway, so you good.
All
Um,
right.
but Rizal, did you like it? Or were you able to see your video shout out to Sonia?
I was able to see it. I was writing a post trial memo, and I was like, "Oh, I hear my voice." You can see it. It was really, really good. Sorry, my lighting is horrible here, but it's gonna be right when it comes to 1 o'clock. So I'm just happy to join in on this and share my information, and hopefully it can inspire someone. So
Well,
it's
since I
going to
got
be a
you,
great
I
conference.
got you here early. So tell the people why you joined the event. I don't want to be talking about why I think it's so great. Tell me why you think it's great so the people can know because it's from you.
I I look, she posted some. I don't know where Nina posted this at, and I do not pass up any speaking opportunities because one of my persons is um Ashley Kirkwood too. She does the Speak Your Way to Cash. And so
Mm-hmm.
I've been, attending some of her things as well. So when I saw that this was an opportunity for me to exercise my speaking skills and teach and give back to the trademark industry, I was like, yes, let's do it. And people that I look up to, like Sonia and Takora, I'm going to be sharing the stage with them. So I decided, okay, come on, let's run with this. Let's run with this. And here in Louisiana, IP, we don't have anything that's remotely related, no CLEs related to intellectual property. And we don't have, this type of law in this area was an area that will talk about, was an area that I found that I could get into and dominate. And, now I have companies. I don't know if y'all have heard of HD4 President. He sings that song Bow Bow Bow. He's a rapper in Louisiana, but I have his mark. So it the possibilities in IP are just endless to me. Endless, and it's a forgotten about industry, unfortunately. In many states, especially my state, like people don't know the importance of it. So, I want to share, how it could raise your income level and do amazing things for it, because that's the thing, you really 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 have to find what you're good at, get in your lane, market and brand yourself, and dominate. So
That's cool. I heard that marketing, branding, and dominate because we definitely talking about all that stuff today. And since I have you here early and they get to ask you a lot of questions about your set apart, go ahead and give us set apart. Like what that title is so crazy how you came up with it. I'm just gonna give you credit. Don't put it back to me. Set apart. Like tell them about set apart because I'm excited just by the title alone. Tell us about set apart.
So set apart is using all of your gifts to hit $5,000 or more. I hit 80 uh on my own. So, you have skills. I think as attorneys, we feel like our only skill is like maybe the practice of law, but in the practice of law, you have different skills. You can be a speaker. I think somebody's giving a talk on being a public speaker. That's a way to drive income revenue, and people will pay you to go to these conferences and things like that, or come speak at these conferences. And then you have, maybe you have a knack for being a creative. I really am truly a writer. I am a poet. And I love to write. That's always been my passion. I love everything about, artistry, fine arts, writing, reading, literature. It comes natural to me. And so, one day I was like, I need to find a way to use all of my gifts. And I love organizations. I love nonprofits. Being able to have the opportunity to work with nonprofits and help them with their structure, conflict management, because my master's degree is in organizational development. And, with IP and branding, I'm actually helping these organizations develop, whether it's developing their intellectual property and going into doing their strategy, so you know, I said I gotta find a way to set myself apart, and I know y'all hear it in my voice. Like I'm just a little Southern belle. Y'all hear that Southern twang? I can't get rid of it. Whitley Gilbert is my spirit animal. I just can't get rid of it. It is what it is. So you know, I I walked walked into court one day. It was like my first day on the job. As I was a staff attorney. Um, Here in Baton Rouge at the 19th Judicial District Court. And the minute clerk was like, "Oh my God, you're I'm gonna call you Attorney Southern Belle." It stuck with me, and I just went and trademarked that. And hey, under that brand, I'm using all of my gifts to make to have the lifestyle that I want to have. You know, I think Dave Ramsey says you have to live a life that you never live so you can have the life that you want, something like that. But that's what entrepreneurship is. um you know, living the life that most people wouldn't want to live. You know, you're gonna have to struggle a little bit
Yeah.
and to get the life that you want. You know, that's that's what it's all about. And lawyers are natural entrepreneurs. We have so many gifts that we don't tap into. You can tap into all of them and make yourself a household name, and run with it. You know, and run with it.
I love it. And let's stay there for a second, right? Tapping into all of your gifts. Like, what made you break out of that shell? Because, you know, a lot of times we don't even use our gifts fully. Like, we're not literally leaning into our full passion. And I really want to talk about that because leaning into your gifts, I mean, you do all your gifts, all your gifts. You lean into all of them. And then look, we twinsies. I knew that we were meant two birds of a feather flock together, and greatness becomes greatness. Okay. Lawyers are natural entrepreneurs. We surely are. Yes, Samantha. That's what she's saying. So, how do we lean into our gifts? You know, this is like a pre mini class. Like, you get in a mini class session with these people, and they don't even realize how awesome that is. They're getting a whole extra class with Rizelia. And y'all, she is headline A to core. Like, her mentor, who she looks up to, is freaking Sonya, and she's headlining the course. She didn't even realize that until probably just now, and that's probably put all this pressure. You're literally the speaker before Takor. And she comes right after me, so it's great. So really, you're literally sandwiched between greatness. I just like literally so very happy, so very excited for you because I literally just heard you just step up and you just always getting stuff in. Like, Nina, I got this. Nina, what you want here? What else I need to turn in, girl? I'm on it. So tell us about leaning into those gifts because I know trademarking that name was probably somewhat of a, you know, people didn't like, why would you trademark that? That didn't even make sense. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, I got that for trademark that Thursdays, but we got a registration. So tell me what makes sense now. So tell me about that leaning into your gifts part.
I think that what I had come to a point where I was a little bit tired and a little bit plateaued, and I wanted more for myself. And I was always taught that, you know, if I don't use my gifts, I will lose them. And I wanted to be in some type of area where I could do writing, where I could work with organizations, where I could um, you know, work with the creatives. And when I got to law school, you know, I went back to thinking about in the pandemic, everybody had time to think, right? I got to law school, like, and I wanted to do intellectual property. And I took the intellectual property course. That is what I originally wanted to do when I went to law school, you know, but there wasn't an avenue for it here in Louisiana. And so I just got to thinking, you know, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I started envisioning things, writing the vision and making it plain. That's a real thing, you know. Manifestations are real. Um and I was like, you know, one day I was like, I'm gonna be a household name. I am. And I am a household name, you know, and I would have like little mentors here and there, whether they were from college or, you know, law school. My professors were following me on LinkedIn and stuff like that, and they would just drop little bitty nuggets. And they would say, I hope you're still writing. I hope you remember that you were the star in my class. I hope you're not giving up on that. I hope you're still using that in the practice of law. You know, that is what drove me. And so I I just went for it. I went for it. And I think it also matters that if you the team that you have around you, the your board of directors, I posted something on social media like my friends need to be my board of directors, but you need to have some board of directors like with you and that's down for you so they could like guide you and help you and be intentional about you. Cuz sometimes you can waver in your faith and your abilities, especially in the practice of law. I mean, do y'all know how many practitioners like have committed suicide or things like that because they're too stressed out or whatever, or they can't really find their niche or find out what works for them. You have to do that because that allows you to market yourself. So in that space, I was able to dominate at my job, which had nothing to do with intellectual property law, but people started learning, oh, she does intellectual property law. And then I was able to, use my skills as a writer so much so the job that I previously had, I left that job and now I am the brief writer for one of the top personal injury firms in Louisiana. So, and my emotions are winning. So I'm using all of my gifts and I'm happy. You got to think about what's going to make you happy. What can you do that makes you happy? How can you turn a hobby into a profitable thing? How can you do that? You have to look at that. You have to also look at your business acumen. Are you taking advantage? I'm about to give y'all my whole course. Are y'all taking
Do it.
are
Do it.
you taking advantage of, you know, these opportunities classes? It's gonna cost. I mean, it costs to be the boss. You're gonna have to pay some money. You gotta pay money to make money. Okay, you gotta spend some money. But check this. That course from Sonya Lacani was maybe but $3,000 some dollars or more. Uh but I flipped that and made 80. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta think about it like that. You are worth your investment. You are your biggest investment because when you invest, then you're investing in yourself. So you're going to be investing in your brand. And as attorneys, your name alone is a brand. So you got to think about it from that aspect as well.
Mhm. And I think
Yes.
we're gonna close it out with 2 to 3 phrases that helped you in your practice when you were feeling that self-doubt. And then we're gonna get into the manifesting million session. Y'all don't even know what that is, but I literally made it up because I wanted to do something where I basically incorporated meditation into trademarks, into millionaires, and bring in the things that we want. So we're gonna have a whole meditation before we receive all this praise and worship going into the sermon. Okay. So I just want to let y'all know we are definitely having a praise and worship. And it's just so great that I ended up having the partner of attorney Southern Belle because her personality and my personality, we like two Southern Bells. So like it literally works together, like literally puts together perfectly. So what are those 3 phrases that you say to
Y'all
yourself?
are getting my natural face.
This is her.
Y'all
Hey,
are getting my
Patricia.
natural
Hey,
face.
girl.
Hi, how are
Y'all know y'all
you?
can always come to the stage. So if we send you an invite, you are welcome on stage until we get started. And when I'm doing Manifesting Millions, you still welcome on stage. Hey, Patricia.
Hello, thank you so much for doing this. I am so excited about what I'm about to learn and what I'm about to do.
Girl, this is gonna be a whole praise for you. So, Riazelia, talk about with Patricia and me what 3 phrases. And Patricia, if you have 3 phrases to help keep you grounded, and I'll try to get to my 3 phrases before the 45 gets here. So go ahead and get on to the 3 phrases that help you when you literally cannot go anymore.
Uh, write the vision and make it plain. That's one. The other one is from my papa. I'm a papa's girl. Plan your work and work your plan. And then the other one that I have is of scripture from Proverbs 16:3. Commit your work, your actions to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. So that's what I.
Amen. Amen.
They go,
Amen.
they all three
Amen.
go together, but those are the things that keep me grounded.
Amen.
And
My go ahead.
let me. I'm compelled to say this. Let me just
Be compelled. Let the spirit lead you.
let me just say manifestation is real in writing. There is some power in writing things down that you want to achieve or your goals. So I will be very candid. Everything that I have accomplished, I can trace it back to something that I wrote down, whether it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or maybe it was when I was a child. I did write it down. And our new Supreme Court justice, she did the same thing, but she didn't know what she was doing at that time. So I mean, don't be afraid. It's only crazy, like Mike Todd said. I know people may have their qualms about him, but it's only crazy. It's true. It's only crazy until it happens. But it can happen. So there you go.
All right, Patricia, you got any phrases to keep you grounded, girl, when you be feeling like I can't do it no more? I know you in the audience, but you on stage today. You didn't know you was coming on the stage. It's just like a clubhouse room. Come on to the stage. Now I can't have as many people on the stage as Clubhouse, but y'all can come on the stage.
So I'm going to say a couple of things. One is what Ria Zelia just said: write the vision and make it plain. Mm-hmm. I can do all things through God who strengthens me, and you make your own way prosperous. So when things aren't working, keep working.
Awesome. I like that. So mine, and I use this phrase a lot, even on like my hashtags, is God's got it. So it's just my reminder that I don't have full control over anything. And even though I think I can maneuver it all, at some point, I got to give it back to God and let him put his hands on it. Because with my efforts alone, it won't come true. But with his efforts plus mine, it's going to come through. So those are things that I need when I'm like feeling down. The other parts are two phrases from my parents. One is for my mom: if you do the right things for the right reasons, literally the world will open up from you. That is literally what you need. So do the right things for the right reasons. If you do those things, you will always do it. You will always be in a job you love. You cannot be in a situation that you love if you're not doing them for the right reasons. And motives matter. So if you out here talking bad about your clients behind closed doors, you need to check that, okay? Because my mentor is Dana Thomas Cook of the Dana Thomas Law. I took her course, and that was the first thing she checked me on. She's like, you can't be talking about your clients behind the doors and think that God's going to bless you with the provision you want, okay? If you want your clients to respect you, you must also be the same person behind doors as you are in front of closed doors. So like, you have to do the things that you expect for somebody on the inside, the inner work. Stop feeling entitled to anybody's money. And that's literally a phrase that like is birthed out of doing the right things for the right reason. I understand, y'all, money is necessary. Times is hard. But if everything you're doing is motivated by money, you will reach fewer people. And lastly, my dad would tell me this all the time: it's all about discipline. And it boils down to this: I'm not a superhero, I'm just more consistent. If you are not consistent, you are not successful. Without discipline, there is no success, because discipline breeds consistency, breeds excellence. So keep yourself disciplined, and you can see success beyond your wildest dreams. Because literally, Trademark That Thursdays was an every week consistent social media post. If you are consistent, you will truly get to the place that you're supposed to go. So we are here for Manifesting Millions. Ria Zelia, you're welcome to stay on the stage if you would like. If you want to, hide your face while we doing some prayer and close your eyes, whatever you need to do, stay on the stage. Don't stay on the stage. I got you. But this is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to get something, literally something that brings you joy in your life. It can be close by. It can be in your mind. However you do it, I want you guys to close your eyes. Okay, close your eyes. And while you're closing your eyes, we're manifesting millions. Okay, so when you manifest millions, you can't manifest it just by saying, I want millions. Okay, you have to declare, as Ria Zelia said, into the atmosphere what it is that you want. Hey, Daphne, how you doing, girlfriend? Hey. I'm about to say, did you want to give your talk to Takora? Because I'll come off stage real quick so you can do it, because my meditation takes 5 minutes.
Okay, 1 second. Let me
put the
Can
camera
you hear me?
on. Yeah, I can hear you, girlfriend.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You hear you great. Your sound is perfect.
Okay, let me.
You have to. Okay, it's not even showing me. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was gonna.
Yeah, it's supposed to show your video. You might have to refresh your screen or give camera permissions to Chrome.
Oh
The
no,
first
that's
time you
fine.
use it.
I literally I'm wearing a hat. I worked out this morning before this.
Girl, we ain't judging you. Who? Anybody here care if Daphne wears a hat? I walk to the
I'm like, if
courthouse
it's
in
not
full
on, that's
workout clothes, and I wish they would stop me and not let me be a lawyer because I wore workout clothes today. No.
right. No, you're
So
right about
please
that.
feel free to come on camera and give Takora a shout out. If you just want to do an audio, I will literally come off. But apparently your audience loves hats, Daphne, so no one's going to judge you here.
Oh, yeah, I'm about to say I see someone saying I love hats. Great, thank you. But so yeah, with Takora Day, so I just started my own trademark practice. I have been a family lawyer for like the past 4 years. I still do that part time, as I'm building my firm. I opened on March 1st. And one of the first people that I was exposed to, besides Sonia, was Takora Davis. I saw, she said, I'm in a whole bonnet. And I saw Attorney Davis give a Dubsado workshop on, how to use Dubsado to like bring in clients and, that sort of thing. And so I started using Dubsado and I absolutely love it. And I would love to meet her. I'm not going to lie. Like recently I have been feeling a little discouraged. Like I've been getting, really good leads and having great consultations. But they haven't always resulted in the level of conversions that I've wanted. And I know I'm just starting out, but, just seeing the success that she has with her firm and just like how she speaks life over people, she speaks life over her firm, like over women, that's just something that I truly admire, and just how she has her whole brand. It's so beautiful, it's so sleek, and it's something that I like deeply admire. I fangirl every time I see her post and her websites and everything like that. I just love how she has her system all laid out, and she just comes across so brilliant and beautiful, and I absolutely love it. So Miss Davis, just know that you have a fan in Texas that absolutely thinks you're doing wonderful and amazing things for women who own businesses. And so I'm honored to be a part of this summit that you are the keynote speaker of.
Awesome. All right, Daphne, that was awesome. And definitely feel free to make a video, send us the video, and we will definitely add some features and branding to it and send that personally to Takora. So if you have some time today, pull out your camera, flip it around to the back camera, and send us a landscape video, and we will be happy to share that with Takora. It will literally make her day. Every time people tell her exactly how they feel and how they appreciate her, it makes her day. Anybody who loves Sonia, y'all can all do the same. Just send it to trademarkthatthursdays@gmail.com, and we will happily send and put the branding on these videos because the speakers really need it. And if you guys came to see anybody else besides Sonia or Takora, y'all can do that for every single one of them. These speakers literally love when you give them feedback. So feedback in video form is like the truest love story you could ever write to a trademark attorney. It's literally the best freaking way to establish whether or not you're being effective with your messaging and your branding. So now that we have heard from Daphne, thank you, Daphne, for sharing it. Anybody else who wants to come share during any of these sessions, during my Manifesting Millions sessions? It only takes me 5 minutes to do Manifesting Millions, so we only need 5 minutes to do it, because at the 5-minute mark, you're going to hear from your first speaker, Vivian. So I hope that you're excited. But I want you guys to close your eyes again. Find that thing that gives you joy, gives you pleasure in your life, whether that be your family, whether that be an object. Like mine, for me, is Starbucks. Like I get a Starbucks cup and then just joy just abounds, okay? So whatever it is, hold on to that image, all right? And when you have that image, I want you to add some more images into your life. So I want you to start declaring the life you want for yourself. I, Nina Spear, want to travel without having to sit in economy class ever again. I really liked business in first class on my trip to Dubai, and I want to do that comfortably for the rest of my life. Ooh, that felt good to say. I want y'all to find your what it feels good to say statement, and let that be the statement that guides you to manifest these millions, because I don't want to sit in first class so that I can just be in luxury. I want to because of comfort. I want to because I plan to visit my family abroad in India and Dubai and and Bangalore and Singapore, and I don't want to do it uncomfortably. I want to be in a situation where I don't have to worry about my hips being too big for a seat, because I enjoyed having my seat recline in the plane, and I enjoyed having people really give me the service that I deserved, because at the end of the day, we all work hard and we want to relax on the plane and not be uncomfortable or sitting next to somebody who's just not your mama or your family member. So please, Lord, if you can, like, I'm manifesting that. I'm declaring that's something that I want for my life, and that what I need to do to do and have that, it will be made abundantly clear what my mission is. What gift you want me to tap into, Lord? I literally need your guidance. I am opening myself up to everything that you have. And I'm holding on to the image of the thing that brings me joy, because those things that bring me joy matter. When I feel low, when I feel broken, when I feel depleted, when I feel unenergized, when I am exhausted and don't want to complete the project, help me to remember the things that bring me joy, because those things will keep me motivated. Because in order for me to pay for my Starbucks every day, Lord, I need to keep working. Literally the only way I can have it. So the things that I want in life, let them be connected to things that are bigger and greater. Because Starbucks for me is more than just a tea. I can make it at home. It's the experience of meeting new people. It's the experience of going to the same place every day, and one day they learn your order at the drive-thru. And that literally brings me joy. It's the fact that I know that my Starbucks is in college and in law school basically gave me a graduation party and an honorary barista apron. It's those memories that I'm holding on to, because I already knew I was going to be worth millions, trillions, billions, cajillions one day. And I'm going to hold on to that when I feel depleted and defeated. And when I feel this way, please help me hold on to that image, whatever that image may be. So I want you guys to declare something after you wake up, after you say what you said to yourself. I want you to write it down. As Ria Zelia said so clearly before, write it down, make it plain, okay? Write it on a sticky note, write it somewhere in your area. If you can see in my area, it says, I'm going to make $30,000 per month. It is written down on that board, and it's there for me all over my house. I have an expo marker. I wrote it on my mirror. I wrote it on my bedroom mirror. I wrote it on random notes around the house. I'm going to make $30,000 per month. I refuse to make anything less. And because I've declared that for myself, that is my goal, that is my mission, and that is my reminder every day. So I want you to write it. You're manifesting it. And in order for you to manifest things, you have to see it often. You have to see it as often as you see success for other people. And while I'm on that topic, stop comparing yourself to other people's success and learn how to make room and way for people to be successful, and you not to have the ego that you have to think that that success means that you won't be successful one day. Everybody has a season, and your season is coming. You just have to keep doing the work. If you do the work, people will be attracted to you. If you do the work, people will see your value. And even though you get one like on that Instagram post, don't you stop sharing. Don't you stop posting. Don't you start creating. I didn't have speakers until 2 weeks ago. I've been trying to get speakers for this event for this long. Hey, Vivian, girlfriend, like literally didn't have speakers until 2 weeks ago. If you know in your heart that you are destined for greatness, you can't stop. I didn't have anybody tuning in to Trademark That Thursdays on Instagram, but I was still making content. I didn't have anybody tuning in to my law firm page, but I was still making content. You can still make content. Don't stop because it's hard, okay? Stop and then keep going. Keep going. You have it in you. I know you do. And if you guys could just for a moment, usually, yes, comparison is the thief of joy. That literally was what got me through law school. I stopped sharing all the things that I was doing with everybody on the internet. And I literally just started working. Just work. Do the work so that one day you don't have to do the work. Do the work so that one day you do not have to do the work. All right, Vivian's time is here. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, y'all. I'm not even doing like intros for the speakers. Take me off. It's time, Vivian. It's your time, girl. I'm already gone over 1 minute. My bad, girl. My bad. Get me off the stage. It's your turn, girl. Does your audio work? You're muted. You muted. You gotta unmute yourself. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. All right, take me off the stage, Waylene. This is Vivian now. Give me.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me, but sometimes we have an issue on my end. Hear me and my name is Vivian Williams. It is a pleasure to be worship leader. I was it has been a part of this evening. I am so excited that I have the opportunity to be here. Although we're having no issues. Not sure. Let me change my place. Hold on. Hi, my name is Vivian Williams of Vivian Williams Law, and I am elated to invite you to the Trademark That Thursday's 2022 Virtual Summit. There are going to be powerhouse speakers in the Intellectual Property Forum, and guess what? I get to be one of them. 75% of people have some apprehension towards public speaking. Well, I'll help you with that. I'll be teaching public speaking, yes, for lawyers. Well, I'll give you some tips so that you don't have to give up on your litigator and or trial attorney dreams. Meet me in Air Meet, April 29th through the 30th at 8 a.m. Central Time. That's Air Meet, April 29th through the 30th at 8 a.m. Central Time. Now, if you missed it, well, that's on you. I think we're back now. I apologize, guys, for the technical difficulties, but it is a pleasure being the speaker or one of the speakers on the panel. As Nina was talking, I was getting extremely excited because I was so elated to be a part of this particular event. I have been so excited about this event that even for me, I'm like, this is crazy. So it was extremely great, and I'm glad that Nina decided to say, hey, yeah, you can join my group. I wanted to talk about public speaking because I find that a lot of lawyers love to, they love being lawyers. They want to be trial lawyers. They want to be litigators, which you can also do in trademark, guys, because that's what I do. I do trademark litigation and trademark infringement, and I have completely enjoyed my time in it. It is a little newer for me as I started off in criminal defense, but I noticed that a lot of people have severe apprehension to public speaking. And I started looking it up, and I was like, about 75% of all people apparently have a problem with public speaking. So that's something that we need to address. That is something that we need to pay attention to. And so I decided, hey, let's talk about it. And yes, sometimes even lawyers. So I said, let's see what we can do. Public speaking for lawyers is pretty simple. It's just like public speaking in other arenas. But I got some added tips that I think would be extremely great for you guys. So I decided to talk about them. My top 5 tips is what I call it. It's 5 tips. And those 5 tips are what I believe would be very beneficial to getting you started. I know we can't fix everything immediately, but we can try our hand at the process. And in doing so, those 5 tips I think will significantly help you when it comes to public speaking. So that way, if there's any people in this arena in IP who say, hey, I think I want to do the litigation side, but they have a little bit of trouble with public speaking,
I'm excited to bring you public speaking for lawyers. And I thought a cutesy name for it would be public speaking, yes, for lawyers. So let's get started. I'm excited. Now, I'm a fan of interaction and questions being asked while I'm up. So if you have any questions that you want to ask me while I am talking, go right ahead. Doesn't throw me as much. I'm used to it. I was also a public defender for 4.5 years. So I'm kind of used to the hustle and bustle and the constant movement of things that's going on. So if you have questions during the time in which I am giving my talk, just let me put them in the chat. I'll make sure to keep reading and make sure that I answer your questions during the time. So for one thing, one of the first things that I tell people when it comes down to public speaking is know your audience. Now, I know that may seem simple and that may seem, minute, but it's important. So I'm going to go ahead and put my PDF up on the screen if I can. In my PDF, I'm going to go ahead and go through it. Now, I didn't know these stats, but these stats are extremely fun to have learned. Glossophobia or glossophobia is a fear of public speaking, which a lot of people have. Sometimes those symptoms can be sweating, increased heart rate, dry mouth, difficulty breathing, and some people even pass out. Muscle tension. About 75% of people in the world don't like it, but 8% of people have actually sought help for it. I know that's an extreme number, and I wasn't sure why that number was so high, but let's see what happens. So the 8% of people, one of the biggest things that I learned while doing this, learning about public speaking, was also I started learning about, hey, what is the psychological reasons behind it? And that, my friends, is one of the first things I tell people to do. When you have a public speaking issue, identify your problem. What is your problem? Is your problem rooted in something someone said? Is it rooted in the fact that you don't like the sound of your own voice? Is it rooted in, where does your fear of being on a public stage come from? That's going to be the first thing. Now, I often tell people that sometimes that's going to come through a therapist. It is what it is. There's nothing wrong with therapy. Or sometimes that can come with you just doing basic self-reflection, like journaling or writing in a book or sitting down and having time with yourself. I find what's helpful is meditation. And when I meditate, I sit down and I try to clear my mind, take myself to a great place, like you close your eyes and you breathe deeply, inhale and exhale. Take yourself to one of your favorite places. That could be the beach. That could be just a pier. That could be fishing even. And you calm yourself. And throughout that time, you talk positively to yourself. As Nina was mentioning before, you say things like, I can speak well. I enjoy public speaking. Kind of changing that atmosphere in your own brain and telling your brain, I am fine. So the first thing I often tell people is to identify your problem. Sometimes you can do it on your own, and sometimes you may need the assistance of a therapist. So if you do, don't feel bad. Go ahead, reach out. The second thing is knowing your audience. Now, I know people have heard this before, and they're like, oh, most people speak on this grade level or this grade level. I find that's not so much true
as is paying attention to the people in the room. So for instance, speak plainly. Speak like I am now. I know that you're a lawyer. They know that you're a lawyer. At this point, we all know that you're a lawyer when we're speaking in public because, your bio has been read or you have talked about it with other people. So they know that you are a lawyer. You don't have to tell them with your words. You can be simple and plain, and you can have just as much, if not more, of an effect on your audience by speaking in just a regular tone with smaller words. Don't stereotype your audience. And this happens a lot. People often think, oh, my audience meant this, or this happened, or I was supposed to do it this way. And they often pay attention and think, I think this group would do this, or I think this group would do that. Don't do that. That could be harmful to you too, because you could be speaking to the wrong group of people. Pay attention to body language. That's the other thing I would say. People give you clues at how they're feeling, whether they're receiving something from you, or whether they like what you're saying through simple body language. If the person's arms are folded, their eyes are closed, these seems like really, really big issues, but body language is extremely important. So if a person's folding their arms, if they're looking dizzy, if they're not paying attention, then those things are going to be extremely important to pay attention to. Pay attention to body language. Now, in those body language clues, I often say you don't just pay attention to the body language of your audience, pay attention to your own body language. And one of the things that I stress in body language is it matters on stage and it matters off stage. Why does it matter on and off stage? I'll tell you. When you're off stage, you're preparing your mind and you're preparing yourself to talk. So the actions that you perform physically off stage are going to be important. I often like to do something called power poses. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this or have done this before, but I stand in the mirror. I put on my biggest smile, even if I'm not feeling it. I put my hands on my hips. I open my legs a little bit, and I do what they call the Superman pose. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's called the Superman pose. And you put your arms out like this, and you just give yourself reassurance. Now, during this particular time, I don't speak. So I know most people would give affirmations, but I don't. I just stand there because sometimes just the physical pose within itself is enough to get you to what you need, to move you to what you need, to move you through what you need. So that physical pose sometimes is enough within itself. There are other power poses that you could do, but that is my absolute favorite. The pose works. Exactly, Daphne. The pose works. There are other things that you can do. And it's actually called, and it's crazy enough, it's based in science. It's actually called puffery or body puffery. You stick your chest out as far as you can go. You put your head up. So never put your head down. That's one of the things. And you breathe. This creates openness for the body because if your body's open, it can be more relaxed. And that's the goal of trying to learn to speak with more clarity and more presence. And of course, as you see, relaxation. Relaxing the mind and relaxing the body can be important. So if about 5 minutes before you have to give a talk, you can sit down and have meditation. Simply clearing your mind, going to your happy place, thinking about what you should be doing to calm yourself. Those are off-stage things. Now, what about your body language on stage? Well, that's important too. First of all, using your hands can be actually a good thing. I know a lot of people, meditation helps me too, Daphne. I know a lot of people think, oh, I can't use my hands. People are going to say, that my hands are too much and they're too focused. Actually,
they find that that action can bring people back to you because it causes them to pay attention because something's changed. So you're not as monotonous. So yes, moving your hands. Now you don't have to do all this. That's not what I'm saying. Moving your hands in a slight gesture every now and again, pointing, putting your hands away from you, which makes people more safe or deflecting, can also be a good thing. Another thing, of course, is standing tall when you're on stage. So try your best not to put your head down. Try your best to focus on a focal point. And it doesn't even have to be on an audience member. Sometimes I focus on the pole at the back of the wall, and that pole is my focal point. But also make sure to gaze every now and again through your audience. Turning your head and taking stock every now and again can also be helpful. It makes people feel like they're integrative or interactive within your speech. Brittany asks, what are some poses to do when you are sitting that are like the Superman pose? Those are the puffery poses that I told you about. So you can puff the body up like this. Literally, I know it looks weird. People may think you're crazy, but that's considered an opening of the body pose. Another open body pose is keeping your hands up like this and basically spreading them away from your chest. Once again, always keeping your head up, not tilting your chin. Putting your head down kind of gives your body a more enclosed position and therefore kind of slows down and lowers the relaxation process, which is the reason why you're doing the poses in the first place, to kind of open the body. So as long as you're doing something that opens the chest area, which helps you to breathe better, and the diaphragm area, so sitting straight, sitting up tall without slouching over is also a good one. Forcing your body to actually sit in a correct posture with your body back up and straight is another important way to do it. So posing, Pamela said, I can only speak with my hands. That's great. Speaking with your hands is important. Now, I often tell people doing this is not, but it helps to direct your audience more back towards you. And that's the important part, is engaging your audience. You want them with you as many times as long as you possibly can. So the next thing that I would suggest, thank you so much. The next thing that I would suggest when it comes down to public speaking, once you have learned your audience, once you've gotten your power poses together, the next thing that you should do is preparation. Now, I know this one is a given. I call it the double P. I like language, guys, and I'm fluent in many languages. So there is a famous rapper from Korea who I really like, and he calls himself Double B. So I always think of that in the back of my head for this particular point. It's called Double B, and it means preparation and presentation. Oh, I got more K-pop fans. Yay. Preparation and presentation is the double P. And why is that important? Preparation means that you know your topic well. That is important. When you're talking to a group of people and you don't know what you're talking about, your nerves are going to get the best of you because now you feel unprepared and your public speaking is going to get off kilter and people are going to be like, why is that person? Preparation, knowing what you're going to say to the best. And now I don't get all the way down to each and every word, but knowing at least a roundabout. I do outlines. For any speech I give, I do bullet points or outlines. And knowing your topic well, get in there, figure out what questions your audience may ask you. So I already have a list of questions that I suspected could be asked during this talk. That way, your brain, your body, and your mind has already prepared for, hey, just in case. Now, of course, you're not going to know everything. And of course, there's going to be some times when it's going to throw you off. But if you have prepared questions in advance, then you have an answer prepared and you can feel more comfortable while you're on stage. And the comfortability on stage is one of the biggest reasons why you can get through having public speaking much, much better.
So presenting the visual slides are another thing. So I often present with PowerPoints. I think that PowerPoints are one of the most amazing things. But a lot of times people think that PowerPoints are a brain dump. It is not. Your PowerPoint should be similar to mine today. As you can see, there are very few points on my PowerPoint. I'm only highlighting specific things, little things, short sentences that can be digested in small modules. The talking should be coming from you. The PowerPoint shouldn't be doing the talking. So make sure that your PowerPoints are succinct words, small words, not a lot of information on the PowerPoint. The information should be coming from you. And be interactive. So if this were a more physical audience, I would talk, I would ask people to respond back to me. I love how you guys are responding now. As you can see, I incorporate what you say into my speech, which goes a long way with people because they feel a part of the speech, thereby they're more apt to listen to you. So if you are in person, you can ask the audience a question. You can ask them different things. Now, I don't recommend cold calling like they used to do in law school. That will only upset someone. Don't do that. But you can ask a general question to your audience. Oftentimes, people like to say, oh, okay, I want to tell a joke. If you're not a good jokester or a decent comedian, that's a bad decision. People aren't going to laugh because they think it's funny. They're going to laugh because they feel awkward for you. So don't set yourself up. But ask a simple question. I often start off, if it's a legal talk, I start off, especially when it comes down to, I teach about jury preparation. And one of the best and easiest, some of my tips for picking juries. One of the first things I ask my audience is, do you know what time it is? So I like to do that with you guys. Do you know what time it is? If you could respond to my question. I'll give you a few seconds and see if I can get responses. Okay, Daphne says, I see 9:22. I see 10:22. I see 10:24 Eastern time. Okay. Yes, it's 10:22. 7:22. I love this. I love that you guys are interacting. Thank you. Okay. Ashley said 9:22 Central time. Oh, we have some Pacific time here, 7:22 with Elena. So guys, keep the replies coming in, but I'm going to tell you why I use that as an icebreaker. So I use it in other times as well, not just when it's down to my juries, but I use it on other speeches because it's a kind of fun question. The question is, do you know what time it is? Now, oftentimes people say, oh yeah, it's 10:22. It's 7:22 Pacific time. It's 9:22 in Central time. And I got 10:23 from Tracy recently. Guess what, guys? That's not the question I asked you. I asked you, did you know what time it was? The answer to that question would have been a yes or a no response. Exactly. Now, see how I got you engaged? Now my audience is thinking, oh, wow, wait a minute. I didn't think of it like that. And now they're more apt to pay attention to you because they're thinking, wait a minute, I got to listen to what she's saying. But also because you've now made them an interactive part, which made them think. Now, I often use that question when I'm preparing my witnesses because I do criminal defense as well, because oftentimes people answer more than the question. And when you have someone on stand, you don't want them answering more than the question. You want them answering the question. So think about that when you're on the stage. Something fun that you can ask your audience that kind of, puts them in a different perspective and makes them think, but also makes them be a part of it. And then that way you don't have to cold call. So that's my little trick that I like to do. The other thing that I often tell people is answer with grace. Now, I've heard this in many different formats, but the biggest thing to this is that you don't know everything. You don't. No matter how often you read, no matter how much knowledge you consume, no matter how many books you read or how many places that you go, no person on this planet knows everything. And the beauty of that is it's absolutely okay. It's actually brilliant that you don't know everything, because that means that you can learn each and every day. So don't feel like you have to know everything when you're on the stage. I know I told you to prepare questions ahead of time, and you'll be able to answer some of those questions. But there may come a time when someone will ask you a question that you just don't know the answer to. It's okay to not know the answer. Now, I know most people don't want to say, well, I don't know, because it creates apprehension to your audience, or it creates apprehension to the person in which you're speaking. But there's other ways that you can simply say, well, I don't know, but you do know that you'll get that information in the future. So you can say the basic is, I am not certain. Now, I like to follow I am not certain up with a comma or a however. I call it the however. I put a lot of throat in it because you got to make them feel it. I am not certain. However, I will get that information for you and present it to you at another time. This makes people feel heard. And this particular act kind of tells people, okay, now I can ask a question, and I know she won't blockade me, but she'll go and figure it out for me and make me feel like she really listened to me. That is a great way of saying, I don't know. Or you can say, I have not dealt with that situation yet. This just allows people to know that while you have knowledge and you can even be considered an expert, there are just some things you unfortunately are not going to know. And that's okay, because it doesn't mean that you'll never know it. It just means that you currently don't know it, and you will definitely go back and get that information in the future. I've done that several times. Tell the person, that's outside of the scope of my current knowledge. However, I will go back and research that, and I will come back to you with an answer. Now, if you're in a setting where you can't come back to the person, or you can't come back to a group of people, then you can ask an audience member. Now, I know that this is, a little weird. I know that this is a little different, but you can ask an audience member, and that audience member can sometimes help you. Now, they may not have the answer, they may have the answer. I generally say, once again, do an overall question. Don't cold call people, because you don't want to upset anyone or cause anyone else to be stuck in that 75% of public speaking fear that we talked about with the stats. So make sure that when you ask it openly, which gives those who wouldn't mind speaking an opportunity and doesn't put off those people who are rooted in that same fear that you were speaking of. So those are my 5 tips. And I am very excited to have given this topic. I love public speaking. I am in that 25% of people who think that public speaking is the bee's knees. And if you ask me to speak, I always got you. Public speaking for me is one of the most amazing things for me. I'll give a speech on anything at any moment in time. Just ask. So I am thoroughly enjoyed my time here. As you can see, my name is Vivian Williams. I'm part of Williams Law, L.A.S.T, where I do trademarks, copyrights, contracts, and business formations. I also practice criminal defense. And I thoroughly enjoy it. You can visit my website, as you see on the bottom, and you can email me any questions you may have. I love public speaking, Daphne, and I love the litigation parts. Thank you guys for joining. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will answer them as best I can. I think most of my questions I started answering while I was doing my talk.
Girl, you did so good. So I do have questions. I have been collecting the questions that you guys have been sending in. As you guys registered for the event, you asked all sorts of things. And a lot of my questions will actually tie into how you can use the public speaking aspect that you spoke about in consultations to convert. Because a lot of people don't understand that speaking or public speaking is a vehicle for conversions for trademarks. So can you talk about that aspect for them?
So one of the things that I mentioned is making your person feel heard. That's not just in an audience, that's in a phone conversation. So when you do have a moment, as I said, where you don't know the answer, because it's going to happen, that's those moments where you say, oh, I haven't handled that situation yet. However, I will be able to get back with you in the future. This makes the client feel like you're going to stay connected to them, which means they're likely to be more connected to you. And so they're more likely to go with your services. Another thing, as I mentioned, is knowing your audience. Don't assume that every person on your lead or your call is the same. Try to speak to them as a person. And that was one of the biggest things that I didn't express in there, but should have been expressed. And I'll quickly add that: listening. Take the time to listen to what they're saying to you. Take the time to listen how they present information to you, and then try to present that information in a similar pattern. So if you find that a person tends to be more of a person that needs you to start from the bottom up and work your way up when you're working, then do that for them. And that's one of the ways that you can do that in public speaking conversion. Let's see if we have any more on the side.
All right. So the next question goes back to your presentation about building confidence. And a lot of people say they don't have the knowledge to get the confidence. So what do you tell the people that they need to do to get knowledge? Because I would say we're in a place where all the knowledge could occur right now. But what would you say about getting that knowledge to build up the confidence? Because a lot of these people who did put their questions in, they're like, I'm just getting started. What do I do? So how do they get this knowledge, Vivian?
Well, for one thing, I am an avid book reader. One of the books that I'm currently in is called The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. My grandfather also wrote a book, and I read his book often. I'll put that in my link, and I probably should have put that in my link, but he calls The Journey to All Things. And essentially what it is it was similar to what Nina was talking about at the beginning of the stage. She was talking about positive reinforcements, thinking positively, speaking positive words out of your mouth, meditating, making those things happen. And that is how you gain the confidence. You look yourself in the mirror and you do those Superman poses that I spoke about. You do those body puffery poses. You sit up straight, you don't slouch. You take one thing about yourself or your personality that you do already like, and you tell yourself that you like it every single day. You look in the mirror and you say, I like my eyes. I like my eyes. I like my eyes. Those are confidence builders, because now you're changing the narrative in your own brain, because that's really where the lack of confidence comes from. It's the negative narrative that you have presented to yourself. And once you stop that negative narrative and you replace it with what you know is true, then you can make it work. Now, what do I mean by what you know is true? I mean that the things that you're feeling, those emotions, are temporary, and they are liars of who you really are. The emotions that tell you that you're not a good public speaker, that you can't do it, that they are liars of who you are. And that's why you have to reinforce them with the truth. And the truth is, you can speak publicly. The truth is, you can open your mouth and talk to crowds. The truth is, you are confident. The truth is, if you're an attorney, for the most part, you know exactly how to sit down and get the information that you need. So you know how to do the work. So it's really consistency in doing the work over and over again and reminding yourself, I am very, very capable. I see another question. I don't know if you want me to go ahead and answer that, Nina. It's in the question.
I absolutely do. I'm going to put it up on the screen for you now.
So the question is how to make technical or boring presentations exciting. One of the biggest things I would stress there is, once again, interaction. So if you do something like what I just did, because let's face it, public speaking for lawyers is cool, but being that we're doing it virtually, it puts me in a place where I have to say, I'm going to move you guys, and I hate to do this, I'm sorry. It puts you in a space where you can say, hey, I'm having all kinds of technical issues today. It puts you in a space where you can say, there we go. Puts you in a space where you have to tell people, hey, let's get out of our comfort zone by making some fun things here. those technical aspects come into play when you say, as I said, by asking questions that involve the audience, being more interactive with people, saying things that will get them to be more excited. So, for instance, if you're having to talk about, let's see what most people think is boring, math. You're having to talk about a math question. You can maybe present it through a story. That I often find is one of the best ways to present publicly is storytelling. So do it through a story. Billy has yesterday, Billy bought 3 pairs of socks. And Billy really loved those socks. Now, does any of the backstory of Billy matters? Not really. Billy thought those blue and purple and green socks were absolutely amazing. And Billy had 3 socks. But Billy went down the street and he determined, that he was going to wear his socks, but he couldn't wear all of them. So Billy put the other 2 socks into his pocket and he put on 1 pair of socks and he walked up the road. Well, while he was walking, Billy dropped a pair of socks. And once Billy dropped that pair of socks, Billy didn't know it because Billy had been carrying around his 3 favorite pair of socks all day. And when Billy got back home after doing his great walk, he looked down and he realized that he was a couple of socks shy. Now, throughout that story, do you mind telling me how many socks Billy would currently have? Simple, straight to the point. It would be, of course, 2, because we said he only lost 1. But now you went through a story that's interactive that has people thinking, oh, Billy and these socks. But it still allows that person to understand what's happening. I'm trying to see if I see any other questions in the
You're good. So we're going to mark that one answered. So the other question I had for you is, where did you get your start? You're new to this. Tell them about your start, because like a lot of times people just assume we just be speaking from places of like, we've been doing this all our life, just so you can help them break their fear. Because I think that a lot of them think you've just been doing this since you were out the womb, a baby, just out here trademark lawyering and public speaking for the people. So please help them understand when you got your start.
So I got my start in trademark law about a year ago. As Nina mentioned, I am also a part of Dana Thomas's trademark entrepreneurship group. I kept seeing her online and I was like, I really like this woman. And I think I may reach out when I decide to open my own firm. I made that decision last year. And in doing so, I wanted to do trademarks and copyrights because I do love the arts. I have a little bit more public speaking experience than the average person, as I was a theater major for 7 years, and I thoroughly enjoyed being in theater. That's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do trademarks and copyrights, is so that I could discuss theater and all of that kind of thing and get with those people in the arts who oftentimes get sadly swindled by the system of legality. So that's how I really got my start in it. I love representing my artist friends because I know what it takes to be an artist. I know how that works. And it's another thing that I bring to my firm, is by telling people, hey, I've been in the arts for quite some time. I know how invested you are in your work, which is why I want so much to help you protect it. And through Dana and Takora has been a great help as well. I reached out to her on Facebook. This is my Takora story. I don't know if she's going to hear this, but I reached out to her on Facebook. Actually, I had reached out in a group on Facebook first for trademarks and attorneys and all that, because I wasn't as familiar with trademarks. And no one had answered me for like weeks. And Takora came in and she was like, well, I guess no one's just answering your questions on this page. It was so cute. But she came in and she was like, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And she was so open, so giving, just so giving of her knowledge. She immediately started to answer my questions. She started to answer any things I had. She tried to help me out when I needed it. And that was rare, because I hate to say it, a lot of times lawyers don't want to give of their knowledge. And I run into that problem more often than not, where the lawyers that I was around didn't want to give of their knowledge. And I was unfortunately put in a position where I was constantly asking questions and no one was responding. So it was like a breath of fresh air that Takora was so open to giving of her knowledge, and so often, because I think I bothered her quite a few times before I made the full decision to do trademark law. And just as if, she knew me all my life. She was right there with me. And so I appreciate that.
Ooh, that's so beautiful. And Sakura's gonna be so happy because I got a video, and Daphne's gonna send a video. Everybody's a video. So I have a question more in the context of where they can go. What resources would you recommend for them to go develop their public speaking skills? I know you're in one right now. I'm just saying, but you can talk about that part. But where else could they go and develop these skills so that they can basically strengthen that muscle and their confidence?
Well, I'm going to say to be continued on my stuff for it. And the reason why I say it like that is because I've really been thinking about putting this into a real formatted class. So when I get it together, guys, y'all come on. But also, one of my strongest places and one of my strongest starts was Toastmasters. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of Toastmasters, but it's an international national organization in which it teaches you how to speak publicly. It is like debate. It is like those kinds of things. And so it's easier format because it's a smaller group of people. They literally teach you how not to say as much. I would be in so much trouble for how many times I have said throughout this presentation. It talks to you about repetition. They give you different set of skills on how to get more comfortable speaking in public. And they even go through meditative workshops in some of the groups. So Toastmasters is exactly what I would say is a great place to start. Another place to start is if you could just start at local events. So I started small, your local church, speaking at a smaller thing. For instance, if it was like a class or Sunday school or Bible study, not speaking in front of the whole church, but maybe a one sentence liner. Getting yourself just more familiar with opening your mouth in public can be one of those things. Another thing I often listen to are podcasts, confidence podcasts. And I think public speaking truly started, as I said, identifying your own personal problem. So those podcasts and identifying your problem can be very helpful. And if your problem is a little deeper rooted, I will stress once again, find a therapist. You'd be surprised how often therapy is just as important in this stage of gaining your confidence in public speaking.
Oof. I think I'm gonna have you really lay into this point because everyone always like, nah, Nina, everybody's just so giving and so helpful in this field. That's so not true. Can we talk about what made you decide to give information instead of hog information? That decision, the switch that went off in you, because I think that happens a lot. And apparently, I got shout outs for doing that yesterday for my 4-year law firm anniversary. I just don't hog information. I really just don't see the point in it all because I mean, like, you can find the same information on the internet. Why would I hog it if you can easily just go find the same thing? Why shouldn't I be the person that you think of when you think of resources instead of having someone else on the internet be like, oh, she wouldn't help me? And it was literally right here on this website, and I could have found it if she had told me where she got it. So talk about that part, about what flipped your switch and like really makes you want to share information, because I think it might inspire some people to be more forthcoming because more things will come their way.
I think it was the fact that it happened to me largely. And because I've always just been more of a helper, a person that wanted to help people. And as you said, I feel like if they can go get it on the internet, what's wrong with me saying 2 words? It's not going to waste my time. It's not a waste of time if you're helping someone. Um, who knows what that person may help you to do in the future? And that's not necessarily what I'm doing it for, but it's just a thought that I always keep in the back of my mind. And as Obi said, there is room for everyone at the table. And I don't feel that there is a scarcity mindset. I try to take myself out of be like, hey, cut that scarcity mindset because it doesn't exist. There's too many people, too many opportunities, too many places in this world. You don't have to hog it all. It's okay. And I oftentimes found that it's refreshing. And so for me, giving information was like, hey, this is a refreshing thought of just saying, this is something that I know that you don't know that can make us both better. Now we could triple or quadruple our money, our presence, our positivity, because now I've assisted you and now you can assist, or you've assisted me. For me, it has definitely helped. I think in connecting with people who give of their knowledge, I've met people like Nina. I've met several other attorneys in the giving of my knowledge. Sharing is exactly a form of service, Tracy. I completely agree. Sharing is a form of service. And in service, you have to be there for everyone. If it's selfish, in my opinion. I didn't even consider not giving as much as I could. I didn't think I knew enough in the beginning, I'll be honest. But I didn't even consider not giving up my information. I'm reading. Larita Yusuf said, I can relate to loving public speaking, but not litigation. Litigation is another type of beast. That is very true. But I love litigation, so I'm a mix of both. Let me look and see if there's another question that I may have missed. I love that comment here. When you don't hog information, your blessings overflow, guaranteed, by Tracy. I agree with that. When you give of yourself to others, it's like God hears you and he says, you know what? As he told us to be helpers one of another in the Bible, that's essentially what the service of sharing our information, it's being helpers of one another. And I think he honors that help and shows up for us big time when we decide to help other people.
Awesome. So I have, I think, a couple more questions. And I think that after that, I want you to kind of just give your takeaway words. And of course, if you guys have been waiting for the CLE code, it's coming. BS, it's not a code. We believe in affirmations here. So there are phrases and affirmations for your CLE code. So you better be writing this stuff down because it's not short and sweet like Vivian is recommending. But we really want to affirm you here. So like my host coordinator who's in the background, who doesn't really like to come on camera, Wei Ling, she's literally a superstar behind putting all those videos together y'all saw earlier. But literally, what is it that like makes public speaking fun? What can you do to make it fun? How can you take yourself out of this whole I'm afraid of public speaking mindset? Like, where do you go for this? Like, do you get outside? Do you go in your house? Do you get in your car? Like, where is it fun for you?
For one thing, it starts with what you just said, Nina, affirming myself. It started with me affirming myself, constantly telling myself that not only am I capable of doing this, but I could be good at it. The other thing is being yourself. And I know oftentimes people say, oh, public speakers should be buttoned up and they should walk a certain way and they should move themselves in a certain manner, or they should stand just so at a 90-degree angle on stage. Forget that. Throw that all out of the window. That's not it. Be yourself. One of my favorite stories to tell, and I can't believe I'm actually still spreading this story. I'm spreading it myself. I know, right? One of my favorite stories to tell is I had the opportunity to stand before the chief judge of the judicial circuit when I was a public defender. He was the judge that presided over the majority of my cases. I had just moved up and I was a little nervous about speaking in front of him, largely because he was also considered so learned in this particular circuit. Like he can quote statute, section, number without a book. I was like, sir, how? And he's so smart and so intelligent. And I had the opportunity to stand before him, but also I was in felony moving up for the first time. And I was a little nervous. I was a lot scared, but I went back on my public speaking skills. I actually did my power pose in court. I didn't do the hands part, but I did the open part, and I stood my body all the way up. And I told myself, I forcibly kept my head up, and I kept repeating in my mind, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. But the other thing that I did was I decided to stop just
being that buttoned up version of what everybody thought I could be. And it happened because of this particular moment. He caught me off guard. I had prepared, like I told you guys, the double P. I had prepared. I had everything going and I thought I knew what he was going to ask. I had my questions together. And then he asked something I didn't know the answer to and I didn't know how to do. And just like I told you guys, it's where I get the I'm not certain that I can get that for you response. That's not what came out of my mouth. What came out of my mouth was, what had happened was, I floored the room.
Oh no. No.
I floored the room. Everybody was looking at me like, what did she just say? He was like, and I kept going because I was like, I said it now. I have to keep going. I can't stop. I was like, see, Judge, what had happened was we went and did, and crazy enough, ended up being one of the best arguments I've ever given because it's like the switch flipped. I no longer was as concerned because I did something so embarrassing that it just reminded me, be yourself. The reason why you got stuck and ended up getting a place where you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, or you were being, is because you've gotten stuck in being what you thought you were supposed to be once you became a felony attorney or stood in front of this judge with this knowledge that, yes, as Brittany said, can be super intimidating. I thought I had to change who I was to make that work. And that wasn't the case. And as I began to just be more authentically myself, I found that the judges began to love me more and I got a deeper connection with them. It's hilarious. They call me the unique one. That was actually literally the judge's response to me in their little talks. They was like, yeah, the unique one. And that wasn't an insult to me because at the end of the day, my clients were serviced and well. They went home. I had over a 90% win rate in my trials. And it was all because I became authentic and true to me and how I spoke and how I thought and how I felt. And even though it didn't sound exactly like everyone else, it's exactly what I needed to be a better servant. Because let's face it, in the legal community, we are servants. We may not want to be, but you chose the wrong profession. You're a servant. And if you're not able to serve with authenticity, then it's somewhat pointless because it can't connect with the people that you need to service. I'm trying to read the comments too. Right. So litigation for 5 years. I enjoyed writing. It can be combative. It can be combative. Rita made a comment about litigation being combative. It can be combative, but I know people say this. I found it more fun. You have to have fun with it. I found it more fun to not be as combative with my co-counsel. I tended to get more of what I wanted. I was softer at times when I knew I could have been harder because I realized that in giving them grace, they began to realize that I was giving them grace. And they then became more authentic and gave me more grace in moments in which I needed it as well. So I remember at one point with one of my co-counsels, he just kept snapping at me. Everything he said, it was just like, yeah. And then he would mansplain, and it frustrated me to no end. And I wanted to scream. I did. But something in me said, take a deep breath, close your eyes, count to 10. And I did. And then I looked at him and I smiled and I said, today is a good day, don't you think? And I said, today is a wonderful moment. We're all here. Everybody's happy. And he looked at me like I had just went off the deep end. But I noticed that it also changed his personality that day. And he became a little nicer himself. And he stopped snapping and he stopped mansplaining. All part of me being my authentic self, realizing, hey, I can bring that to the table.
I love that. And I just love that what had happened was literally was said in court somewhere, somehow. Look, we taking over for the one.
I can't believe I spread that story, but it's the actual true story.
I literally cannot give a better example of how to get confident in public speaking than just that story. You literally leaned into your full
Your Honor, you know what? Like, this is what we got to do. We have to do what we got to do. So we're going to wrap up with the CLE code, but please, Vivian, any last words that you want to share, like a line or a challenge to this people who are here listening to you right now so that they can, kind of interact with you all. And if you guys want to interact with Vivian, please stay tuned at the end for her contact information, but you guys are going to get a whole conference brochure with all of that. So please do not feel pressed if you can't write it down. We have to get to Shahara and I have to go into the right room this time. So
So excited for the next speaker. So I'm gonna be very brief. And my biggest takeaway is exactly what we're talking about right now. Be you. The best public speakers in the world are the ones who are themselves. I love this phrase. I get it wrong every single time, but it is what it is because I'm gonna eventually make it mine. It says that you can only be you. You can't be copies of others. It doesn't work. So essentially, exactly that. Be yourself. You are the only version of you. Everyone wants to be other people. Stop trying to be a carbon copy. If we were all meant to be the same, we would have come out of a factory, is my version of that. And we'd all be a lot of bit boring. So don't be that person. You are interesting in your own right, with your own thoughts, with your own thinking, with your own whatever. If you want to say what had happened was, and I have actually also said my name Bennett and I ain't in it to my judge when he talked about a case that wasn't mine. Be who you are. At the end of the day, it sounds a little crazy, but that little bit of you gets you through the day, gets you through it every single time. So thank you for having me. I've enjoyed my time here thoroughly. Yes, I actually did say that. My name Bennett and I ain't in it.
Awesome. And we're about to throw on your CLE code now. So if you've been patiently waiting for the CLE code so you can go apply for your CLE credit, it's going to come on in a few minutes. While we're waiting for that, Vivian, we love you. We appreciate you. What's your contact information that you can share with the audience so that if they want to reach out to you, probably give them your Instagram. That'll be the easiest way for them to reach you quickly. So IG for them so they can reach out to you.
So my Instagram is very simple. My first name, Vivian W. Esquire. I was going to show you my last page at the back too, but it's Vivian W. Esquire. That's it. ESQ. Vivian W. ESQ. Hey, that kind of rhymes.
Hey. All right. Waylene, take it away. Take us off the stage and give the people what they want, which is the CLE code, please.